With Ethereum and the altcoins banging on alt season's door, I thought I would open your mind to a tiny AI crypto niche that could explode with the rest of the market. And with that, 3 altcoins that could gain a lot of attention in this niche as well. The AI niche in crypto, as we know, is pretty powerful. It might be one of the biggest narratives of this bull market. You can see here the insane growth it has had in the early 2024, late 2024 pumps. And I do think once interest comes back again, we're likely going to see a much larger pump than this, probably giving us over 1 to maybe even $200 billion in just the AI coins. But this niche goes even more specific into AI. We're now looking into AI agents. You can see the AI agent market cap is around 5 billion, whereas the total AI market cap is around 33 billion, meaning the AI agent market cap is only 15% of the size of the much larger AI narrative, which means we possibly have more undiscovered projects here that can reach possibly higher multiples. And if we look at just how large the AI market can possibly go, guys, we're around 400 billion market right now. It's expected to swell to around $1.8 trillion in 2030. That's not too far away. Now, if we hone into where I do want to take the conversation in this video, particularly to actually digital avatars, because digital avatars are a very unique part of this market, kind of within the AI agents themselves. And you can see by 2030, we're getting some pretty insane growth. It's a 50% compounded annual growth rate. By 2030, this market's actually expected to be around about the size of the entire AI market right now at about $400 billion, which is just kind of crazy to look at. And by 2026, it's expected to go up to around 71 billion. So that's a pretty large jump from where we are right now, give or take around $40 to $47 billion. And I think a lot of this has been ushered in by the likes of Grok, okay, so by X, formerly Twitter, of course, where they recently launched this thing called Grok Companions. Okay, so this is a bit of a meme here. You can see that essentially people have loved these Grok Companions for all sorts of safe for work and non-safe for work reasons, right? But you can see here that the insane impact it did have on Grok's overall revenue when it launched on the 14th, okay? It definitely spiked the growth very, very quickly. So people are definitely interested in using like these AI agent models, but particularly the models that can actually interact back with you in a very humanistic way, right? Ones that actually look realistic, or even if it is just a cartoon character, right? One that can actually make you feel, okay, like it's actually there talking to you. So give me one sec, because there is a project that really has opened my eyes up to this, and it has barely even just launched, okay? It's in its pre-sale stage right now, but I do want to take your attention very quickly just to how much the AI agent as a narrative is actually quite strong in this space. And the reason why is because this is Sharp AI and their social mindshare tracking sheet. This kind of refreshes every week or every couple of weeks. And the AI narrative itself isn't even on this list anymore, but yet the AI agent narrative persists. So obviously there is definitely this large mind share in the crypto market for AI agents. Like I said, I've got 3 projects to show you here today. The purpose is to hit different areas of this AI agent, and more particularly even going into this digital avatar narrative, where I think right now Grok and Grok Companions have really opened the doors to this as a new narrative, okay? Because we've seen it actually being used here and people loving it. The first project is one I do talk about quite a lot, actually, and it's Aether. Ticker is ATH, which is currently around a 400 million market cap. So it's not the largest coin on this list by a slight margin. But the next coin I want to mention in a second here is actually in its pre-sale stage. So it's not just a micro cap, but it's like super early on. It's the early investment rounds. But I did want to mention it because while it isn't directly an AI agent project, what makes Aether so unique in this sort of area is that it does support AI agents. Think about it. What do you need to run AI agents? You, of course, need GPUs. Like Sam Altman says here, they're running out of GPUs, right? The demand far outweighs the supply, and they're requiring faster and faster GPUs because these large language models or these agents or whatever else it may be, right? They are becoming more computationally heavy and hungry. So that's when a project like Aether can come in and, again, like it says here, literally supply GPUs on demand and also make them much cheaper, okay? So like they say here, accelerate AI innovation with their GPU as a service. If you don't know what Aether is, it is just a project that allows you or anyone to rent out GPU power without actually owning the GPUs yourself. There are a few crypto projects that actually do this, but I do think Aether is one of the very best. If you have a look at the actual stats, their annual recurring revenue is $140 million. And the amount of money they have made to date, okay, since starting around mid last year, is like $90 million. It's kind of crazy. If I show you here, okay, total network revenue since June 2024, $91 million. What's also crazy is that they have 400,000 total GPUs, and they are across 93 countries, which is important because that reduces latency, obviously being closer to a particular GPU, or as they say here, a node itself. Now, they do have quite a few of the top GPUs from NVIDIA, like more importantly here, the H100s that can fetch up to 20 or 30,000 US dollars per individual chip. Now, where does Aether stack in the grand scheme of things regarding revenue? Well, actually, it's not tracked, unfortunately, on Token Terminal, but if you had a look at the weekly returns that Aether actually is generating here, like the actual revenue numbers, okay, it's around about $3 million-ish per week, which would mean they would actually be higher than Solana and even higher than Pump Fund revenue and equal to Ethereum's revenue itself. Now, in regarding future announcements, what they're trying to do here is upgrade the mainnet around later this year in Q4, okay? The plan here is to launch the token on a new network, and this is just going to speed things up, I do believe. So it's all net positive for the next 6 months, I believe, for Aether. But I want to take your attention now to the co-founder of Aether, being Mark Ryden. Now, why I bring him to your attention is because he's actually one of the advisors for this next project, which is Antics. What is Antics? What do they stand for? What are the updates they have had, and so on? I'll get to that in just 1 second. But first of all, I want to say a big thank you to Antics for partnering with us on this video to bring this to your attention, to see if you like the coin. It's a brand new project. It's going through its pre-sale, which if you like the coin, I'll mention to you how you can get involved with later on in this segment. But again, it's a way in which Antics has said, we want to see if your community likes this coin, and so here we are. I do think it is situated in a very unique and very prosperous area of the market. So with that said, what these guys allow you to do is essentially create your own digital avatar, and that avatar be so hyper-realistic, you can't tell whether it is or isn't AI generated. Now, that might sound cool and great. Like I said before, Grok Companions have done a great job of capturing a pretty large market and interest already. But where this actually goes is something that you might not initially think. So I want to take you through the project step by step. First of all, this AIGE is a way that you can, again, like kind of clone yourself, right? So literally a photo of yourself or a video of yourself and record a quick audio sample, and it will literally duplicate every bump on your skin, every pimple, every micro fracture of your skin, and put it in this AI format. Now, this is all going to be done via an NFT. So you mint your own NFT, it's pretty much scans your face, does all it needs to do, and then you have essentially digital ownership of a version of you online. And like I said, there are some pretty awesome features and things you can do with this. But what I want to do first is give you a quick snippet of this interview the founder of Antics actually gave recently, where he talks about the focus on hyper-realistic AI, and I found his response quite interesting.
For people that don't know, just quickly explain the uncanny valley, because that's a fascinating idea in itself.
Yeah, uncanny valley, this is like where you look at the person, and the person looks like a human, but your feeling about this human looks like this is not real, or something wrong with these people. Maybe he has some mental issues, or maybe this is not a real people. This is based on our reptile brain, and this is like a feedback which we can't avoid. This is where we have a fight to build something trustable and to build something without uncanny valley, to looks like a real human, not like an uncanny valley human.
The uncanny valley is that sort of feeling you get when you look at like an AI agent, for example, that is trying to copy a human, right? And it's kind of like, it's not real, but it does a pretty convincing job, but you just have this instinct where it's like, I don't believe that it has to be AI. And so the focus of Antics here is to create such real duplicates of people and then allow you to use that online for multiple different purposes. Again, we'll get to this in a second, that you can, of course, monetize yourself and essentially duplicate yourself. I want to show you this quick clip as an example of how far Antics have come here.
Hey, Antics community, I'm Roman.
CEO and founder of Antics. Now, you might think you're seeing the real me, and in a way, you are. This is actually my digital twin, an AI-powered replica that looks, talks, and interacts just like me. This twin can do so much, from creating content to communicating in different languages. Watch this. 지금 이렇게 소통하고 있는 건 믿기 힘드실 거예요. L'avenir est déjà là. Et nos digital humans.
You can see here, this is called digital twins. And again, at the core of this is going to be a unique NFT, which you will mint with your details and your expressions and your voice and everything else, in which you can take wherever you need to and use for different things. You can even monetize your creations. The purpose here is not to limit it to just you, but also go ahead and allow you to do things like create fictional characters that maybe a company wants to rent out, for example, okay, from you. So you can, of course, get passive income from this. But just to finish up on the personal side of things as well, I'm sure many of you guys know a popular YouTuber called Kwebbelkop. Now, this guy got pretty mixed reactions recently because he tried to start his own like second channel here where his AI agent would essentially be him. Like, again, he doesn't even input anything. He just has this AI agent like play Minecraft for him, right? If my internet wants to decide to work here. And essentially it runs around and plays Minecraft, and it's a whole second channel entirely built without any of his own personal input. So that's pretty interesting. It got some negative feedback, and the reason why is because the AI agent wasn't exactly him. It didn't provide like that real human input. Again, that uncanny valley experience. So people couldn't really watch him and know that it was actually a possible human on the other side of things, which again is what Antics is trying to solve. And you can just see here how large this market actually is. The global digital avatar market is expanding, and so are the use cases. Agents and assistants, check. Virtual influencers, again, check. Digital avatar and gaming, we'll get there, but it's going to be a big check. You'll even be able to create your own blockchain type of passport that will allow you to store all of your credentials from different things, like even possibly healthcare, okay, on this NFT secured by blockchain and cryptography, so no one can see it, and yet that NFT might honor all of those different things. Now, this isn't something I would be interested for Antics right now. This is definitely down the line, like maybe possibly even years away, but the possibilities here can really grow into something very interesting as AI itself begins to grow and nourish. So, like I mentioned, there is definitely applications for the everyday user with these digital IDs, or essentially these digital twins. But then we have companies as well. So like I said, companies may want to buy your digital twin or a fictional character you've created, or maybe even just create their own character, for example, to increase brand awareness. And there is no overhead when these companies do this. Like real actors, digital actors do not require salaries, working conditions, or even breaks. Now, in the case of Kwebbelkop, well, this would have been great for him because, as you can see here, it's great for influencers as well. It allows you, if you so wish to essentially branch out into multiple different languages and dub your own videos over again, for example, like Mr. Beast does, or maybe even just do a whole separate side hustle. If you don't want to show your face, don't show your face, right? These AI YouTube videos are getting pretty prevalent these days with the whole AI voice. Well, now you can show an actual face and gain that, viewer to creator intimate experience. These guys have been operating for quite a while as well. Way back in 2022, they created their own avatar called Halser, and she was up here in Times Square. Obviously, this character doesn't look very realistic, but this was way back in 2022. Okay, so this is a long, long time ago. And already they were working on this sort of technology as well, okay? So it's just come a long way since then. And actually, they've launched this project already being partnered up with some really big names. You can see in the US, guys like Warner Brothers, Game of Thrones, HBO, in Australia, DTC, China's Tencent. They actually created Antics, already working with some of these large names. And you can see here, going on the gaming side of things, all of the features that Antics has, okay, versus their competitors. Most importantly, ones that they don't actually have is games. So you can run these AI avatars or digital twins within games themselves, particularly crypto games that honor the NFT side of things. Now, as we know, the gaming market is pretty huge in crypto, right? In the last bull run, it was one of the biggest narratives right next to meme coins. And in this bull run, even though gaming coins haven't done amazing so far, right, they have held up pretty nicely with the two pumps in early to late 2024 as well. And I say that because of the obvious benefits of using maybe possibly your digital twin within other games and ecosystems, but also they are launching their own game, all right, called Between. They had some great news from Hackanoon as well. They participated in 2 competitions to see who was the best trending machine learning startup and also trending generative AI startup. And from 22,000 votes on the machine learning startup, they came second, which is extremely impressive. There was like 150,000 different companies and startups that participated in this. So that is fantastic, right? They also came in third here with 15,000 total votes for generative AI startups. So big up to Antics, because that's obviously very hard to do when you're competing with other startups in the exact same area. Like I said, Antics is going through its pre-sale, which means you can't purchase the coin right now on exchanges until it does launch. Now, it intends to launch and list at 14 cents, and in this pre-sale stage, the price that you can get it actually ends up increasing every 2 weeks. Right now, there's been about $9 million invested right from the initial stage one, which sold out in less than 5 minutes, when the price was sitting at around 3 cents. So like I said, in this 14-day period, it's going to be at 7.3 cents, which is still a 48% discount from the listing price. It's important to know, though, when you do get in around this stage, you'll have around 90 to 85% of your tokens locked up when it does launch, which means that you'll only be able to access when the coin launches about 10 to 15% of whatever you put into the project now. And the remaining tokens will be locked up for around 10 to 11 months. So if you did want to access the Antics pre-sale, once you've done your own research, of course, I'll leave the link down below to access this. It'll bring you to a page like this. Okay, so if you're happy with everything and the actual price and everything else, then you simply connect your wallet, all right? So you can connect this via MetaMask or any other online non-custodial wallet, and then it'll bring you up to a page like this, reconfirming details, of course. You can either get in with ETH, USDT, USDC, or very soon Visa and MasterCard. So it's whatever you really loaded up your wallet with, and then you can essentially put in the amount. Just keep in mind there is a minimum of 1,000 Antics tokens that you have to purchase into. Okay, so make sure you do have the balance for that. But once you do, you can click buy now and then go through the traditional measures to sign the transaction. You're not obliged to participate, but if you like the look of Antics and wanted to invest in this project super early on, then that might be a chance for you. Of course, this is not financial advice. The last coin on this list may be a possible stretch when it does come to the whole like AI agent or AI digital avatar narratives, but I think it is applicable because it's Keeta. And what Keeta does is allow people who use the project to actually have digital identities. Now, this is kind of like Antics, and it is important in this new and evolving AI landscape because, of course, anyone can clone anyone. And, for example, make a video of me talking about a shitcoin, for example, some microcap degen play that ends up wrecking people, right? And so that's, of course, very dangerous for my credibility and also, of course, for people listening to that advice. So Keeta is actually more focused in the lines of tokenization and payment rails, for example, kind of like XRP, XLM, and so on. And with a recent partnership here with Solo, what they're doing is creating digital certificates that allows you to carry through an identification across to any different platform that says, hey, this person is who they say they are. They can use your DeFi service, for example. They can buy that equity, for example, like a stock or a commodity, for example, right? So it's a pretty impressive sort of thing that they're trying to do here. And they are the fastest layer one in the space. Since I last spoke about Keeta a few days back, you can see here the coin was at 75 cents. Now it's at $1.23. So if you managed to pick this coin up when I did, you'd be in a fair bit of profit right now, okay? But make sure you do your own research. I mean, one of the main reasons why I like Keeta so much is because Eric Schmidt, which is the ex-CEO of Google, actually invested in Keeta. He doesn't invest in many projects. You can see here, he really only has 72 investments. That's pretty rare to be so heavily invested by Eric Schmidt. I think he invested around $15 million into Keeta. The founder of Keeta also said something pretty interesting I do want to share with you in this interview as well.
Yeah, I mean, one of the bigger roadblocks that some people have early on have kind of highlighted was our ability to interact with the traditional financial system. Within the last, call it 96 hours, we've had a pretty big breakthrough in that. And I can't really go into more detail there. Effectively, we're in the process of positioning ourselves where no one can stop us. Overall, it still could be a lot of work, but fortunately, our tech puts us in a really good spot. And then once we tap into these rails, it's kind of game over for the industry, not going to lie.
So a pretty bold statement, of course, there from the founder of Keeta. And again, like, I want to cover this, guys. These 3 coins, or any coin I talk about, I'm not trying to create hype and FOMO here. What I'm trying to do is share my excitement with these coins with you, so then you can go ahead and do your own research and make a decision yourself, right? So these videos are not financial advice, of course. So thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Take good care.